With the Golden Globe nominations coming up on Monday, the 9th of December, here are my predictions for who I think will be nominated. This is strictly for the film categories, and the order of the nominees isn't in order of who is most to least likely to be nominated or anything like that. It's just random. So for Best Picture Drama, I've predicted The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, and A Complete Unknown. All 6 of these films are currently in my list for Best Picture Oscar, so a pretty predictable selection here. In Best Picture Comedy Musical, I have Anora, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Substance, A Real Pain, and Challenges. Again, a predictable list of films here. I think Challenges will have its biggest moment at the Golden Globes and won't have much more momentum beyond the night. In Best Actor Drama, I have my Oscar 5 of Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Daniel Craig for Queer, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, and Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. I've added Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice in the 6th slot, and on a side note, I think that the recent discourse around this role and the variety actors on actors thing is actually doing more good than bad for him this award season. In Best Actor Comedy Musical, I have Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain, Sebastian Stan again for A Different Man, Glenn Powell for Hitman, Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, Michael Keaton for Beetlejuice, and Hugh Grant for Heretic. Half of these films aren't even comedies or musicals, but you know what the Globes are like. In Best Actress Drama, I have Angelina Jolie for Maria, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door, Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths, and Kate Winslet for Lead. I seriously considered switching one of these women out with Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, but I just don't know who I'd switch her out with at this stage. So I'll leave her as an alternate and be pleasantly surprised when she does get nominated. For Best Actress Comedy Musical, I've predicted Mikey Madison for Anora, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Demi Moore for The Substance, June Squibb for Thelma, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, and Zendaya for Challenges. A pretty predictable category here, and yes, I am still on the June Squibb bandwagon, and I won't stop until proven otherwise. For Best Supporting Actor, I've got my current Oscar 5, with Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Stanley Tucci for Conclave, Yuri Borisov for Anora, and Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. I've added in Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing, who most people now have in their Oscar 5, so I don't know why I don't also have him there, but like before, I don't know who I would switch him out with at this stage. Anyway, he's my final pick for this category. For Best Supporting Actress, I've chosen Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Ingenue Ellis-Taylor for Nickel Boys, Saoirse Ronan for Blitz, Ariana Grande Butera for Wicked, and Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez. It's a mixed bag here. There's a lot of room for choice and other picks, so I'm not completely confident with these choices. I know many people aren't predicting both Ariana and Selena, but I think it makes sense, and I think voters would be keen to see both actresses in this category. For Best Director, I'm once again going with my Oscar 5 of Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Sean Baker for Anora, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, Edward Berger for Conclave, and Caroline Farge for The Substance. For the 6th spot, I've added John M. Chu for Wicked. I think Wicked is gaining a lot of positive traction, And with the way that critics and audiences are talking about it, and considering how we don't have a clear favourite for this awards season yet, I think Wicked could be a bit of a dark horse in these next few months, but we'll have to wait and see. In Best Screenplay, I've chosen The Brutalist, Anora, The Substance, A Real Pain, Conclave, and Sing Sing. All reliable picks that we will see in screenplay categories throughout the season. In Best Animated Feature, I've kept with my Oscar 5 of The Wild Robot, Memoir of a Snail, Flow, Inside Out 2, and Moana 2, and added Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul. For Best Motion Picture Non-English Language, I've chosen Emilia Perez, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, All We Imagine Is Light, How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, which, side note, is the most heartbreaking film I have watched all year, I'm Still Here, and Kneecap. For Best Score, I've picked Challenges, The Brutalist, Conclave, The Wild Robot, Dune Part 2, and Emilia Perez. And for Best Song, I've gone with El Mal and Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma from Twisters, and I Always Wanted a Brother from Mufasa the Lion King. I don't really know much about the songs here, and I honestly don't pay much attention to this category, so I just picked it random here. And for my most favorite category of all time, cinematic and box office achievement. Seriously, don't get me started on this stupid category. I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know how you pick for this category. Do you just pick the top 8 highest grossing films? If so, why are we nominating films based on a prerequisite like the box office? I don't know. I seriously wish they would just get rid of this category. But alas, I've picked Wicked, Dune Part 2, Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Moana 2, Beetlejuice, and Despicable Me Part 4. And there you have my predictions for the 2025 Golden Globe nominations. The Globes have had a tough few years, and as it slowly comes back to life, it'll be interesting to see what vibe the voters take and what they'll prioritize and favor. Like with the Academy, new members can bring in a new perspective, and we could see nominations and awards straying away from that typical Hollywood A-lister flavor we've seen all this time with the Globes. But I don't feel like the change will happen right away, and there'll still be a bit of that presence kicking around. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below, and as always, thank you for listening in.